The NATO summit was supposed to project unity. Instead, it produced a painfully awkward Trump moment that the internet has been feasting on ever since. As leaders lined up in Turkey for the traditional NATO family photo, cameras appeared to catch Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni turning her head the moment Trump arrived on stage, seemingly sidestepping any greeting. Trump then strode straight past Meloni without acknowledging her, and the frosty-looking exchange exploded online within minutes. Viewers were merciless. Social media lit up with users treating the clip as a full-blown public brush-off. One person sneered she was probably trying not to vomit from his stench. Another mocked, "I'm sure Trump is devastated." A third quipped that Meloni turned her head so fast when Trump showed up, like she saw her ex at the party. And the viral pile-on only intensified because the optics came against the backdrop of real political tension. So when the cameras caught Meloni appearing to look away and Trump marching straight past her, many viewers didn't see a simple missed hello. They saw a transatlantic relationship looking visibly sour in front of the world's cameras. Meloni later tried to cool the fallout, insisting she had no regrets about how she handled Trump and saying her focus remained on unity within the Western alliance. She also maintained that her approach to Trump was no different from her dealings with other world leaders and stressed that the two still had common ground.
I said I would not return to this subject, and I will not return to this subject. As for the political investment, I do not regret anything I have done. I made a political investment out of conviction in, let's say, the unity of the West, and I have defended it completely. It is not a strategy I implemented with the arrival of Donald Trump, and you are a witness to this. I was not at the negotiating table, so I cannot tell you what the right answer to your second question is, because I do not know how much room there actually was to move forward in a negotiation and how much that room was not there. I cannot say for sure. So I am unable to answer you on this, which as for the basis, well, it is not that we have made decisions or choices just, well, one day we do one thing, the next day we do another. We have had a very clear line since the beginning of the conflict in Iran, and we are maintaining that line. We shall have honored our commitments, take them as serious, nations always do, but we also said we would not participate in attacks on Iran, and we are not participating in attacks on Iran, and we will not participate in attacks on Iran. No.
To talk about the potential downsizing of American troops in Europe, the topic has returned with Ireland. I wanted to know if these issues were discussed and if you feel you can rule out a downsizing of American troops in Italy for 2026.
Well, look, what I can tell you is that no, these two topics were not the subject of our discussion today, which I must say was a very positive exchange. Then, albeit a bit cautiously, it was, well, a constructive, positive, and unified atmosphere. And these issues were not discussed. Regarding American troops, well, at present, no formal withdrawal has been communicated to us. Having said that, you know that in NATO we discuss burden shifting, right? That is how European allies, the European pillar of NATO, must take on greater responsibility within European territory to allow the American pillar to deploy to other sectors that are currently considered a priority. The presence of some heads of state and government from the Indo-Pacific region, well, it somewhat shows how the alliance is trying to adapt to what are the new scenarios and new responsibilities. So I do not rule anything out, clearly, I do not rule anything out, and I believe that, let us say, it is not a hypothesis that should catch us off guard, because you know better than me that the United States has been discussing for a few presidents, let us say, the need for a progressive disengagement From Europe, which is not a political disengagement, it is a disengagement to allow the alliance to be more present in different sectors. And I, as I have told you on many occasions, consider this also an opportunity for Europe to, let's say, take greater control of its, well, look, I am obviously very worried about what is happening in Iran. I think you can understand for yourselves why, and we cannot rule out that this could spread to other areas of this delicate region as well. And having said that, we are trying to work in the diametrically opposite direction, meaning I have not lost hope for the possibility of negotiations in Iran. I believe that so far, let's say, the military option in this case has not brought such concrete results. And I think we must insist on the capacity and the possibility of a negotiation. And Italy will obviously be committed in this regard. Clearly, negotiations, direct talks between Israel and Lebanon are a fundamental part of this Middle Eastern security architecture, and I think it is excellent news if it is confirmed that the next round of negotiations will be held in Rome. In the meantime, I consider it excellent news that the negotiations are moving forward.
Mr. President, good evening. Donald Trump said this morning that Italy has been terrible regarding the use of its bases, so I ask you, if the American government were to ask you again tonight to allow a plane to land at Sigonella at an Italian base to then participate in kinetic operations in Iran, would you say no again? Would the government say no again? And a brief comment on the words of Secretary Rutte, who said regarding the American attack in Iran tonight, it was necessary, an attack that was necessary. Do you agree with these words?
I was not at the negotiating table, so I cannot tell you what the right answer to your second question is, because I do not know how much room there actually was to move forward in a negotiation and how much that room was not there. I cannot say for sure. So I am unable to answer you on this, which as for the basis, well, it is not that we have made decisions or choices just, well, one day we do one thing, the next day we do another. We have had a very clear line since the beginning of the conflict in Iran, and we are maintaining that line. We shall have honored our commitments, taken as serious nations always do, but we also said we would not participate in attacks on Iran, and we are not participating in attacks on Iran, and we will not participate in attacks on Iran, no. I said I would not return to this subject, and I will not return to this subject. As for the political investment, I do not regret anything I have done. I made a political investment out of conviction in, let's say, the unity of the West, and I have defended it completely. It is not a strategy I implemented with the arrival of Donald Trump, and you are a witness to this. I did it with all the interlocutors that I encountered.
Oh, I don't know. I think she's a nice person, actually. We've had a good, we had a bad relationship. It became a little bad because she refused to help us. Again, I didn't put a heavy press on her, but she refused to get involved with the Hormuz Strait, or you could also say just Iran. She refused to get involved. So it soured my relationship with her a little bit. But I like her. I think she's a nice person, actually. But I think she made a mistake. You know, they get a lot of their oil from, we don't get any of our, we have a lot of oil. The United States has more oil than anybody. And when you add Venezuela to it, it's like we have far more oil than anybody. We don't need the Straits. We do this because we think it's an important thing to do. But she just wasn't there for us. And I wasn't happy about that. You can imagine, I wasn't happy about it.